Good evening and welcome to ThaiPBS World. It was not a total surprise that Thanathorn Jungrunglungkit, leader of the embattled Future Forward Party, decided to take his fight to the streets. In fact, he had been hinting at that possibility for quite some time, as he saw the political tides turning against him. The last straw was the decision by the Election Commission to have his party disbanded. With the writing on the wall, Thanathorn probably believes that mobilizing his supporters onto the streets is the only course left for him. And this was exactly what Thanathorn imagined would happen. A cloud of politically discontented people rallying around his cause. Though the size of the cloud in downtown Bangkok on Saturday is still being disputed, it was nevertheless a small triumph for the firebrand politician in the sense that it was the biggest anti-Prayut rally since the March election. Obviously satisfied, Thanathorn described the event as merely a harbinger of bigger things to come. And he did not hesitate to declare that he was ready to earnestly take his fight to the next level by taking to the streets next month. It's not immediately clear what Thanathorn has in mind and what he expects to achieve from his street politics. But judging from his rhetoric, it's obvious that his ultimate goal is an ouster of the Prayut government and, more ambitiously, an end to the military role in politics. But how to make it happen with street protests is a big question mark. Critics believe Thanathorn and his colleagues in the Future Forward Party are acting out of desperation. Thanathorn himself has already been disqualified as an MP by the Constitutional Court and cannot expect to play a full-fledged political role in the foreseeable future. And they have every reason to be afraid that the hammer will also come down on them after the Election Commission decided to ask the Constitutional Court to consider disbanding the party. The Election Commission believes it has solid grounds to find the party guilty of violating the Political Parties Act by accepting personal loans from its leader Thanathorn. The previous ruling by the Constitutional Court against Thanathorn is the clearest sign that the party will have an uphill task defending itself against the charge. The worst-case scenario will see the party disbanded. Members of its executive committee, Thanathorn included, have their electoral rights stripped and banned from active political activities for 10 years. It is this frightening prospect that many believe prompted Thanathorn to turn his back on parliamentary politics. In fact, over the past several weeks, Thanathorn and his Future Forward colleagues have been hinting at the possibility that taking to the streets would be their option if the party was to face an early demise. In his recent address to the Foreign Correspondents Club of Thailand, Thanathorn warned that Thailand is on the verge of another political crisis, and much depends on how the fate of his political party would be decided by the Constitutional Court. Thanathorn has dismissed all the charges against him and the party as part of a larger scheme orchestrated by the powers that be to destroy them. Of late, Thanathorn has begun to talk about the political situation in more and more apocalyptic terms. In the same address to the Foreign Correspondents Club of Thailand, he predicted what he described as a tipping point that would trigger a political chaos. He also painted the picture of Thailand standing on the edge, with a political storm coming its way.
We don't know what will be the tipping point here. What we do know is this. We do know that the tension is rising. This is tangible. This is known. We do know that the storm might be coming.
Thanathorn was on a stage at Thammasat University on Saturday with leaders from other opposition parties to campaign for a constitutional amendment.
ไม่ใช่ทางเลือกแต่เป็นทางรอดทางเดียว
The young politician said amending the constitution was the only way out of what he sees as the current political quandary.
แก้
And then he declared that the constitution can be peacefully amended through the normal legislative process or through bloodshed. The 7 opposition parties on Saturday formally sealed a pact to launch a campaign to amend the constitution, which Thanathorn alleged was designed to prolong the military control of Thai politics. Thanathorn has made it known that he intends to use the campaign to ignite public resentments toward the Prayut government and the military, something he has achieved so far with limited results. For some reasons, Thanathorn believes that public anger with the military has reached a level that people are ready to take to the streets with him to demand changes. He apparently foresees a possible dissolution of the Future Forward Party as the last straw, or the tipping point that he has been talking about. Of course, his critics' beliefs is nothing more than Thanathorn's own wishful thinking, shaped by what he sees and reads largely in the social media. Besides, what Thanathorn is fighting for has nothing to do with advancing the cause of democracy, but more for his own political survival. And in their view, when it comes to the crunch, only a few would take the troubles of being by his side on the streets. It's obvious that Thanathorn is taking a big political gamble. And one big question is whether what Thanathorn believes to be an increasing public disenchantment with the current political situation is really there to prompt enough people to take to the streets as he hopes. And that's all for ThaiPBS World tonight. Thank you for watching.